Come on. We will win. Because we will hit all game. We are motivated. We are dedicated. Come on now. Come on now. We will win. Because we are the best on the field. And we hit the field light, all day light, all night light, on the blue light, offense light, defense light, his squad light, house call light, and the sound light, and the sound light, and the sound light. Looks right, throws it too high. Oh, it was called on the back end. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He called it in. TCU, the miracle win. In Lubbock today.
Goes for the end zone. The ball's in the air. It drops at the goal line. I think he counted for a touchdown. He got it. He got it. He got it. Touchdown, Nick Matthews. The Cougars win it. The Cougars win it. He gets in. He's got room to the right. Tucks. Throws anyway. In the end zone. It is caught. It's caught for a touchdown.
It's a good one. The set down. The kick is up. On the way. It is
goal. He missed the catch. Do you believe this? With 1:11 to go, he missed the kick.
He is up, and the kick is no good. And the Cougars are going to win the football game.
Donnell Barnes over on the far side. He's going to keep it himself. Cut back inside. Slams for the touchdown. And the
forever. I'ma do this here forever.
Welcome everybody to the Short Sports Show. I am your host, Daniel Short. Today is Friday, January 22nd, 2016. Hope everybody had a great week. Entering the weekend, we actually have some college football news to talk about, some NFL news, as we are getting closer and closer to the NFC and AFC championship game. And for college football, we got some of the not pro days, but the collegiate bowls, like the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl, some of those all-star senior bowls type things that are coming up very soon. So those are always exciting to watch, seeing, who's going to be that surprise guy, some of the top names that are out there that are going to be playing to, prove that, hey, their stock needs to rise a little bit than where they are, and other things like that. We also have some recruiting news and some great news that we're going to be interviewing a few players and an analyst here pretty soon next week. So a lot of exciting things happening. Thank you guys for joining us. Again, you can follow me on Twitter at @short_sports247. And the intro you just heard was by Triune featuring EQ. The song is called Forever. You can buy it on iTunes. All links are in the description below. And again, starting on February 3rd, which is a Wednesday, the Short Sports Show will be switching to Wednesdays. It'll be one show a week, as college football has basically died down, and then by then the Super Bowl, I believe that's the week of the Super Bowl, or that just the end of the Super Bowl. Anyways, we just have one show, that's it, and we'll do that throughout the off season until things start picking up for not spring camp, but preseason stuff like that, which is still a long time away, but hey, we can all just try to move on. That's all we can do, guys. That's all we can do. We just try to move on and take it day by day. But first, we got some recruiting news, and that's quarterback. And this not really a head scratcher, but at the same time it is. Quarterback Dwayne Haskins, the number 23 ranked prospect in ESPN 300, has committed to Ohio State, switching his commitment from Maryland on Monday. Now, Haskins is a number 3 quarterback in the 2016 class and has been committed to Maryland since May of 15th. And he's been a big piece of that class. He was recruiting other players to come join Maryland. And that also included ESPN 300 linebacker Keandre Jones, who flipped his commitment from Maryland to Ohio State as well on Monday. So both of these guys, same time, said, hey, let's switch over to Ohio State. It's going to be perfect. And Haskins, he cited the coaching changes at Maryland, which were Randy Edsall getting fired midseason, as a big reason to flip his decision. And so what really throws me off is, okay, I understand the coaching-wise that might have been a concern, but I'm pretty sure DJ Durkin should have sold you to stay with this team, because looking at what Maryland has now, I'm not reading too much into Maryland, but seeing what they've got and historically what they got, Dwayne Haskins could step in whether it be his freshman year or sophomore year, immediately, and make an impact at the quarterback position. Condre Jones probably could have done the same thing at the linebacker, but now you're switching over to Ohio State. Now I understand the fact going from Maryland to Ohio State, the big school, the big spotlight, the prestige, the championship opportunities, but you got to think of it as all the quarterbacks Ohio State continues to recruit and get, and the guys that honestly are pretty good. Now, I haven't seen any tape on Dwayne, but I'm just saying, I mean, that's a lot of competition you're going to have, and do you really want to go into that? Now, I'm not saying don't be afraid of competition, but at Maryland, it's a much easier job to start than it is going to be at Ohio State, because for sure you know you're going to sit out, this year, so you could redshirt. Next year, who knows? But I don't know. That's the questionable side of it. But best of luck to them, and Maryland. Hey, you'll get one. And the reason I want to bring up recruiting is because next Friday's show, we're going to have a big-time expert, J.C. Sherbert, on the show. You might have seen him on 27 Sports. He was a national college football recruiting director for them. He's also been on ESPN, their writer, and now with Saturday Down South, covering South Carolina, along with still nationwide. He's going to be on our show. A huge opportunity, and he's going to talk to us about the recruiting wise and see what we should expect for National Signing Day, which I believe is about, depending on which way you want to look at, a week and a half to 2 weeks away. So very exciting. And that will be on next Friday's show. One former football player from USC and another from LSU were charged Thursday with a string of robberies and carjacking in South LA, authorities said. It was ex-USC tight end Bryce Dixon and former LSU defensive tackle, bear with me here, Trey Lialamatofu. I'm pretty sure that is as close as you could possibly get without really knowing what his last name truly is. Both 19-year-olds who were dismissed from their teams last year were each charged with 5 accounts of second-degree robbery, 1 account of each of carjacking, attempted carjacking, and assault with a deadly weapon. They could each get more than 15 years if convicted on all accounts. Now, both of them pled not guilty at their arraignment Thursday afternoon, and were told to return to court next month. Now, Trey, he was dismissed after arrest on allegations of hitting a woman outside a bar after she tried to stop him from robbing her unconscious boyfriend. Now, Dixon, he was dismissed from the team at USC over sexual misconduct allegations, although the judge overturned Dixon's ruling, allowing him to return to USC as a student. Obviously, both didn't return to football teams. And obviously, both of these guys have some serious issues that hopefully can get addressed. But yeah, just this shows you, just because you're an athlete, you do something stupid, you're done. And this is what road you can end up on. So make smart decisions, kids, because you do not want to be these guys right here. Former Michigan head coach Lloyd Carr, Oregon athletic director Rob Mullins, former Southern Mississippi head coach Jeff Bauer, and former Central Michigan coach Herb DeRometti. Excuse me, I practiced it all morning, and of course, the time I got to say it, I screw up. DeRometti have been named to the College Football Playoff Selection Committee. The College Football Playoff announced Thursday, and I'm excited. I actually really like these choices. Obviously, Lloyd Carr was the favorite. Oregon athletic director Rob Mullins is intriguing to see what he can bring to the table. And obviously, the former head coaches from Southern Miss and Central Michigan, respectively, and Jeff Bauer and Herb DeRometti, both winning as coaches for each programs. Guys know what they're doing. Guys know what they're talking about. Guys know what they're looking for in the college football playoff. I absolutely love these four to join. They replace Mike Gold, Pat Hayden, Tom Osborne, and Mike Transky, both whose terms have expired. And these four committee members begin a 3-year term this spring. So I'm absolutely loving all this whole group. I think the college football playoff is going to truly benefit from having their say into this. And I love it. I love it. Hopefully they don't make me regret it if they start bashing TCU for some weird reason or something. That'll hurt me. That'll hurt me. Texas Tech quarterback Patrick Mahomes has decided to focus strictly on football and won't rejoin the Red Raiders baseball team this season. Now, apparently he made 3 appearances in baseball as a freshman. Did not know he played baseball, but good for him because he knows the caliber of quarterback now he is and what he can do with this Texas Tech offense. Texas Tech has finally found a stable quarterback for them in their program since Cliff took over. Now, Mahomes said Wednesday that after talking to his family, he decided it was, quote, the best interest to concentrate on football and academics, end quote. He is the son of Pat Mahomes, for any baseball fans out there, who played for 6 Major League Baseball seasons and 6 baseball teams in an 11-year career. Now, Mahomes, he threw for 4,600 yards and 36 touchdowns last year. He also rushed for 456 and 10 touchdowns, making him the 13th FBS quarterback to record 5,000 yards of total offense in one season. Huge news for Texas Tech, knowing that, hey, he's strictly on football, having his grades, up, and really trying to prove this team. Because offensively, they are there. Defensively, not so much. Well, offensively, they're a little inconsistent, but defense is not really helping them out. I just don't understand how a team can truly suck on defense, and after making so many different changes from position coaches to the actual defensive coordinator, in like an 8-year span, your defense can be garbage each and every year. I don't know. It's weird to me. At some year, you think it'd pick up, and then it just kind of stays right where it's at with like below 100th in rankings. It's crazy. Not taking a shot, just saying. Now, former TCU quarterback Trevone Boykin says his arrest 2 days after the Horned Frogs' thrilling Valero Alamo Bowl win over Oregon, quote, doesn't define the kind of person he is, end quote. Now, Boykin, of course, was involved in a fight at a bar in San Antonio and allegedly struck a bicycle patrol officer. That incident led head coach Gary Patterson to suspend Boykin for the bowl, ending his playing career with the Horned Frogs. Here's what Boykin had to say.
It truly humbled me. I mean, as I was sitting in the cell and they gave me my phone, I was talking to my mom, I broke down in tears. I mean, I'm not really an emotional guy. I don't cry a lot. But that incident, it really hurt me inside, just knowing the fact that, like, I let down my teammates, I let down the city of Fort Worth, I let down TCU, and most of all, like, the people that helped me get to this point, to where I was before all this had happened. It was just so, it hurt so much. I think I cried for like 2 days. And I mean, it still hurts me now to know that I didn't even get to play my last college game, and I had family coming down to come watch me. I had friends coming down to come watch me. So it just hurts so much. But it really lets you know after the incident, like, the people that are there for you through thick and thin, they'll always be there for you. And that's what I really took in. It humbled me so much. It lets me know who I can trust, who I can't trust, and people that I need to be hanging around and I don't need to be hanging around.
Now, Boykin declined to comment about the night of his arrest, but said the conversations he had with NFL scouts at practices and events leading up to Saturday's game, quote, obviously they want to know about the arrest, but at the end of the day, football is what I came here to do. I came here to prove that I can play this position, end quote, and obviously talking about the quarterback spot. Boykin was invited to the NFL Combine as a quarterback and is fully committed to playing that position in the NFL, but said he would be willing to run through drills at other positions and individual workouts with NFL teams before the draft. And he's looking to prove that and more to NFL scouts at the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl this week, which is tomorrow on Saturday, depending on when you're listening to this, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Central on ESPN2. He's going to be on whichever, the head coach, Mike Martz, he's going to be on that team. I don't really know how they separate teams, or whether it's north, south, east, west, whatever. But he's going to be, one of the starting quarterbacks for them, and I hope he truly does well. I still, as a TCU fan, I love Boykin from when he was a redshirt freshman from during the Rose Bowl year all the way into now. Obviously, I was disappointed. We talked about it on the show, but he is still, he was talking about who's truly with him, thick and thin, and I'm there with you, Boykin. I am there with you, and I hope he does really well. Now, he said after Saturday's game, Boykin will return to the IMG Academy in Florida to prepare for the Combine. He is scheduled to make an appearance related to his arrest in Bexar County Court on February 17th, according to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Hopefully he can wrap that up. That can hopefully just kind of go away, get dropped to a misdemeanor, and just disappear, go into the past as he gets ready for the NFL. But yeah, so we'll see. Moving on to the NFL, early this morning, the Jacksonville Jaguars announced they have signed head coach Gus Bradley to a one-year extension through the 2017 season. And I like that. You know, one of the, I don't know if it was Adam Schefter or somebody tweeted saying, you know, after multiple teams have tried to find different reasonings and you know, try to win and do different things, they fired head coaches and made different personnel changes. Jacksonville has continued to support both the city and the team, Gus Bradley, and believing in his methods to get into a winning season, obviously becoming, you know, next year and the following year. Therefore, giving him a one-year extension, not just saying, hey, this is contract year, baby. You got to do something or you are gone and we're moving on once again. That's why I'd say, hey, we believe in you, giving you another year and make it happen. Let's do something. Let's go positive, 8-8 plus, and do it. And I really think now, I haven't looked at Jacksonville's schedule, but the way hopefully this NFL draft plays out for Jacksonville, and hopefully Dante Fowler Jr. can be fully healthy and ready to go and be a wrecking force on the defensive side, I truly think Jacksonville might be an AFC South contender. They almost were this year, kind of late in the middle of the season, and then they just fell apart. Offensively, Blake Bortles, he's still making some mistakes, but he's still a young quarterback. He's got some of the best wide receivers in the league, which is crazy to say for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, they get this running game going. Hopefully they get a top running back, hint Derrick Henry, or Ezekiel Elliott in the draft. And we're looking at a Jacksonville team that says, whoa, these guys have some firepower. You know, they need to improve the offensive line as well, get some secondary help. But they are not that far, you know, as they were a few years ago. They are not that far. The pieces of the puzzle are starting to come together for Jacksonville. And don't be shocked that this upcoming year in 2016, that they make a run for a weak AFC South. The Texans, not so strong, depending on what they do with quarterback. Then they could be somewhat strong. The Colts have just been seemingly just, I don't know, they're weird. They're inconsistent, it's the word. And Tennessee, they look like they were going to make some, you know, a big stock rise, and then they have completely failed with hiring Mike Mularkey as their head coach, which I believe is stupid. They should have put all the money and waited on Josh McDaniels. I think that would have been the smartest move. Not a huge fan of him, but I think a new reign for him would have, and especially with Marcus Mariota, would have done something. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But Jacksonville, good thing signing Gus Bradley, their head coach, to a one-year extension. In an interview with Men's Fitness, John Gruden, who is obviously in the booth with ESPN for Monday Night Football, said he would like to see the NFL make 0 plays reviewable. That's right. Absolutely none of them. Said, quote, I would eliminate all of it. Everything's disputed now. Was he in bounds? Was it a turnover? It's taking the juice out of the stadium. There are too many timeouts. Let the people on the field officiate them and hold them accountable. Look, there's going to be some bang-bang plays that have to be officiated, and who's going to make the decision? The instant replay man in New York City? End quote. Now, I understand his passion for the game. I understand he kind of wants it to move along a little bit faster. I love the speed of the game. I don't think there's any argument there. But really, 0 plays reviewable. That's, I don't know about that. I understand sometimes there are some plays where it's like, okay, it's clearly he caught it in certain areas, but basically saying, what if Odell Beckham's catch against Miami? Now, let's say the referee said that was incomplete. I don't remember the actual on-field rule of it, but what if they had reviewed that or did not review it, and the field said, nope, it's incomplete? Then that amazing catch that he had once again against Miami on Monday Night Football would have said no, even though that was a clear touchdown. A great play by him. That would be very disappointing. So I understand that instant replay, not the greatest thing for him. He's not the fondest of it. But you tell that to the players and the coaches and the fans when something is supposed to go their way and it doesn't, then let's say, oh, yeah, there shouldn't be instant replay. Yeah, I don't know about that. Here's an interesting little note. Now, while Seattle Seahawks linebacker Bruce Irvin, who earlier in the season said that he wanted to go to Atlanta or, be back over there, he said this week that he'd give the Seahawks a hometown discount to remain with the team. But a guy that's actually from Washington and Lakewood and attended the University of Washington, that can't be the same said for wide receiver Jermaine Kearse. Now, Kearse, who will be a free agent, had career highs this season in receptions with 49, receiving yards with 685, and touchdowns with 5. He said in a text message, quote, "I love my hometown, but I've put too much hard work to give a discount. My number one priority is to take care of my family's future, so I will consider all opportunities," end quote. Now, I understand where he's coming from, but it's not like you're going to be a high-paid wide receiver. It's not like you're going to get a lucrative contract anywhere. In 4 seasons with the Seahawks, he's caught 112 passes for just a yard shy of 1,600 and 10 touchdowns in 4 years. Obviously, the offense has grown and almost gotten better every single year. But, man, you might need to stick with Seattle. Now, Seattle, he complements that offense very well. He did an amazing job against the Carolina Panthers in the playoff loss. He had 11 catches for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I think he shouldn't really have said that. I think he should have just probably ignored the question or said, I'm going to consider all opportunities, but I'd love to stay in Seattle. That's what it should have been said, not, I put too much hard work to be given a discount and saying that. And I understand your number one priority is to take care of your family's future. Obviously, that should be every player's, whether they have started a family yet or planning to or just haven't yet. That should be their number one priority, saying, hey, I need to think about the future and make sure everybody's taken care of because in one play, my career could be over. That always should be your number one priority. But at the same time, you've got to look at the best opportunities and situation where you could be successful, therefore increasing your money, and basically do what Doug Baldwin did. Have that incentive contract. He is going to get a big deal. Not a huge deal, but he's going to get a substantial upgrade because of the season he had and the incentives that he, obviously got from playing an amazing season. Jermaine Kearse needs to step up and do that as well. And hopefully he does stay in Seattle. I like Jermaine Kearse, but probably should have just changed up the quote a little bit. Now, the Seahawks, they have a lot of work to do in the offseason. They obviously have Bruce Irvin and Jermaine Kearse that we just talked about, but they also have right guard J.R. Sweezy, left tackle Russell Okung, cornerback Jeremy Lane, and defensive tackle Brandon Mebane all hitting free agency, and they've got to sign a few of those players because losing 2 other offensive linemen, while they weren't great, you're going to need some help for the future because you can't draft all of them in the NFL draft. Jeremy Lane, I believe, will stay. Brandon Mebane, he's an older guy. I don't know if they'll keep him or not. I think they should, so that way if they draft or bring in someone who's a little bit younger, Mebane can teach him and they can play together and whatnot. But the big question is left tackle Russell Okung. Now, whether he stays or not, having an up and down year, basically almost every year for him, it's going to be questionable whether he stays, especially a terrible, terrible performance by the entire offensive line against Carolina. Now, one thing that just really honestly pissed me off this morning when getting this show together was New England Patriots wide receiver Danny Amendola. He said Friday that he had been fined by the NFL for his hit on Kansas City Chiefs cornerback Jermaine Fleming, which he plans to appeal. Okay, I understand he's going to appeal it, whatever. But we all remember that hit. We talked about it. It was that, punt, and Danny Amendola went away from it, hoping it would bounce to the end zone. Jamel Fleming saw that it was short, and he was going to field it. Now, while it is legal for the opposing player to hit him, the receiving player to hit the kicking team player, to distract him, whatever, to get him out from fielding the ball. That is legal. That is legal. But it was the hit that was not legal. Now, Patriots head coach Bill Belichick defended Amendola, calling it a illegal play, saying, quote, "I saw him block the guy trying to down the ball. It's hard to tell from coaching film where the hit occurred, but it was a legal play. We're allowed to block him. He didn't give a fair catch signal." Here's a couple things with that. Now, you're saying it's a legal play, but you just said that it's hard to tell from the coaching film where the hit occurred. So how do you know if it was a legal play or not if you couldn't tell? That's my thing. And obviously, it was very clear from coaching film. And if you want to look it up on YouTube, it's on YouTube. You can find that hit anywhere you want. It was everywhere. And you're telling me it's hard to find it, or it's hard to tell. Both things, a complete lie. It is a legal play to stop the other player from catching the ball, of course, but it was the hit that was not legal. If you're going to tell me a helmet to the throat / face mask area is a legal hit, then what is college football doing? What are the other NFL hits, the targeting that we're crying about? That is not a legal hit. Now, I'm all for having the big tackles and, the NFL. I'm against the NFL trying to make more tackles, where you can't touch them until after they caught the ball and all this other stuff. If he went in and he hit him shoulder to chest, shoulder to anywhere on the body other than, the lower legs, don't try to break his legs out, then I would have been like, okay, hey, it was a big hit. Like John Gruden said, it was a bang-bang play. And, that's it. It happened. But the fact that it was a helmet on purpose directed toward the opposing player's head, and it ended up hitting him in the neck and face mask area, that is what I have a problem with. And you trying to say that it was a legal hit. It's ridiculous. Now, after the game, Amendola said, quote, "I thought it was a clean hit. We're coached to do that. It's a big play if I block that guy and the ball bounced in the end zone and we get the ball at the 20-yard line," end quote. I understand. You're coached to do that. Obviously, it was not a clean hit. It was helmet to helmet, basically. Where is everybody at on this? I swear I've seen no articles saying, oh, he should have been suspended, this and that. But as soon as Vontae Burfict hit basically what was it, shoulder to helmet on Antonio Brown, who ended up getting a concussion, we got to draw the line. Vontae Burfict's got to get suspended. He's got to get fined big money again. He's a dirty player, all this other stuff. But as soon as it's a Patriots player or anything like that, Danny Amendola, it's a clean hit. There's no support on saying that it is a terrible, terrible call by the NFL. They should have fined him big time. They haven't released the amount of money, but it should be over. I'm going to go over $20,000 at the very minimum, and suspend him for at least the first half of the AFC Championship game. I mean, it's ridiculous. We're going to allow that to slide, but you're going to go and get other players who have lesser hits, but they look worse, and go after them and find them big time, suspend them. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Houston Texans linebackers coach Mike Vrabel has turned down the offer to become the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator, according to multiple media reports. Head coach Bill O'Brien and general manager Rick Smith worked hard behind the scenes to keep Vrabel and give him a new contract, the Houston Chronicle reported. Now, Vrabel met with the 49ers head coach Chip Kelly on Tuesday before declining the job. The Texans also hired Anthony Weaver as their defensive line coach, according to the Houston Chronicle. Interesting note, LeSean McCoy, Buffalo Bills running back and former Philadelphia Eagles, now he's publicly voiced his displeasure with Chip Kelly many times, multiple times. He brought up accusations of racial bias over personnel decisions immediately after he was traded, and then again in December when he said he refused to shake Kelly's hand after the Bills-Eagles meeting in Week 14. Yet, when he was asked for advice for the San Francisco 49ers players, which is obviously Kelly's new team, McCoy surprisingly said some really nice things. In an interview with NFL Total Access, he said, quote, "Every situation is different. The The one thing I will say about Chip is that he wants to win. He's very intelligent. The offense, they'll find ways to get big numbers. They'll find ways to put up the stats offensively. With him coming in there, no matter how good of a player or low player you are, if you just automatically believe him, no matter if it sounds crazy, you're like, what is he talking about? If you just automatically believe and buy in, I think you'll be fine. End quote. It's weird. It doesn't feel like he really said that. That was from LeSean McCoy. He did. He said it, and maybe he's just found peace and has moved on and said, you know what? It is what it is. I love where I'm at in Buffalo. I love Rex Ryan. I love this offense. I love what they can do, and I've moved on. That's the only thing we can truly assume, or because, I mean, how did he really know he's going to be asked this and to go in all like that? But there you go, San Francisco. Automatically buy in. Just believe in them. Some late news. Indianapolis Colts linebacker C.L. Moore was arrested Thursday night. According to the officer who pulled him over, said he was, quote, driving at least 100 miles per hour and was weaving in and out of traffic on Interstate 65, end quote. He was a third-round pick out of UConn in 2013, and Moore appeared in 26 games, including 22 starts in his first 2 seasons with the Oakland Raiders. And he compiled 7.5 sacks and 105 tackles through 2 years in Bay Area. But the Raiders dealt him to the Colts for a 6th-round draft pick. And really this season with the Colts, he's been nothing. Had 4 solo tackles and 3 assisted tackles in 12 games. Now, last bit of news here. There are only 4 teams left in football right now in the NFL. Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, and the Arizona Cardinals. So the offseason has well begun for others, and most of them have questions like who are the most important free agents they need to re-sign. And that's what we're going to do. Just a few of the big name players from teams that have already been eliminated. This is who they need to re-sign. Now the Baltimore Ravens, they have kicker Justin Tucker. And you're thinking, why the kicker? Well, just because he was the only bright spot for this Ravens team and one of the few starters who didn't get hurt. In 4 years, the former Pro Bowler was is at 87.8% of his 3-point attempts and is yet to miss a point after attempt, 139 of 139. Not bad at all. Obviously, he needs to be re-signed, and I think he will. Probably that'd be the highest paid kicker. Wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey of the Chicago Bears. Now the Bears, I think they've learned from their mistake. They let go of Brandon Marshall. They traded him last offseason to watch him just break records for the Jets and almost make the playoffs. So I'm assuming the Bears have learned their lesson and said, hey, we got Kevin White coming back next year. Should be healthy. We need to give some money to Alshon Jeffrey for him to stay here. Now, while he finished with a team high of 54 catches and a club best of 807 receiving yards, Jeffrey totaled just 4 touchdowns and played in a career-low 9 games due to injuries. So having him, Kevin White, Eddie Royal all be healthy should improve this Bears offense a tad to at least win a few more games. Free safety Eric Berry of the Kansas City Chiefs, now less than 1 year after being diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, safety Eric Berry was back on the field in 2015. Now, he did great. He finished 3rd on the team with 61 tackles. He knocked down 10 passes and recorded 2 interceptions. He's also headed to the Pro Bowl for the 4th time in his career. But alongside inside linebacker Derek Johnson and outside linebacker Tamba Ali, Berry is one of the numerous Kansas City Chiefs defenders who could hit the open market this offseason if the Chiefs don't put up big money. Now, they've got a lot of questions. They got to sign these guys, and they're saying, all right, who do we give the big money to, and who do we keep? Now, Eric Berry, obviously, he said the Kansas City is family. He wants to stay, and I believe the Chiefs are going to do everything in their power to offer him a suitable contract to keep Eric Berry with the Kansas City Chiefs. But whether Derek Johnson, Tamba Ali stay, it's going to be tough to keep all 3. I don't know if they'll keep all 3. As a Chargers fan, I really hope they don't. Any little bit helps, but honestly, I don't know. We suck. The defensive end, Muhammad Wilkerson of New York Jets. Now, while he broke his right leg in the team's season finale at Buffalo, a 22-17 loss that would have kept the Jets out of the playoffs, or it did, Wilkerson led the team with 12 sacks in 2015, and that was a club that ranked 4th in the NFL in fewest yards allowed and second only to the Seattle Seahawks in rushing defense. So keeping Wilkerson with a young defensive line is must for the New York Jets to continue to keep that defense top notch. Now that you know Ryan Fitzpatrick is very suitable at quarterback and having Brandon Marshall still do their thing, all you got to do is upgrade that offensive line, maybe throw another cornerback in there, is it a safety, and bam, get another receiver. You're good. You're set. Jets are going to go to playoffs. No, I don't know. Running back Doug Martin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is another one. Now, as a rookie with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2012, he ran for 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, and finished 3rd in the league with 1,900 yards from scrimmage. But after that, he was derailed by injuries the next 2 years, and the former Boise State standout totaled 950 yards rushing and 3 scores in a total of 17 games. This season, he was a comeback player of the year. There's no doubt about it. Martin rebounded in a big way as he finished 2nd in the NFL with 1,400 yards, just 83 yards short of the league leader Adrian Peterson. Last offseason, the Bucs failed to pick up the 5th option, and honestly, I don't know if it's really a fail because, well, I mean, he really didn't do that much, and he was hurt multiple times. But obviously, with a huge year and saying, okay, he's truly back, we found something. He fits this offense perfectly. They're going to try to lock him up pretty soon. And finally, quarterback Kirk Cousins, Washington Redskins. Now, after 2 seasons of turmoil at quarterback position, Washington have indeed found their man, and that is their 2012 4th-round draft pick, Kirk Cousins. Now, they need to get him under contract. It's pretty funny because in that same draft, in the 1st round, they traded up to get some guy named RG3, Robert Griffin III, a Heisman Trophy winner. That is, I was gonna say freshman year. His rookie year did great, took him to the playoffs, but couldn't get the job done. So now the 4th year signal caller completed a league best 69.8% of his passes this season, throwing for 4,166 yards and 29 touchdowns compared to just 14 turnovers. But he finished the season pretty well other than a playoff loss. In the final 3 regular season games, Cousins threw for 11 touchdown passes without an interception, but it was sacked 6 times in the 35-18 loss to the Packers in the wild card round. But he did throw for 329 yards, and he ran for a touchdown, threw a touchdown. Not bad. But he's going to need some help, obviously, with that offensive line. And probably another running back. I don't know. Alfred Morris hasn't sold me since that one breakout year. But with that, wrapping up the show, we got to make some picks. And because it is the last, 2 games of the year, not including the Pro Bowl, we're going to get through this, guys. Going to get through this together. We have to. Starting off 2:05 p.m. Central Time on Sunday, CBS, and my fault. I had thought the Patriots were the number 1 seed last week. Obviously, they are not. Broncos are. So it will be the Patriots traveling to Denver to take on the Denver Broncos. And, it's going to be 47 degrees apparently. Most likely a tad bit of snow somewhere around there. And this is a very tough game. Very, very tough game. Multiple injuries to the Patriots' defensive side. 5 of their front 7 are injured. One of them actually, I believe, Gerard Mayo, he's out. He's on IR. So he's going to be out, obviously, for the rest of the year. So that takes one out. Broncos, offensively, with Peyton Manning, is a bit of a struggle with field goals just everywhere. Not really a whole lot of touchdowns. Patriots, they could put up some touchdowns, but have the Broncos found a solution to stopping Rob Gronkowski? They need to do something quickly and hopefully without playing dirty and taking out his knees. As Rob Gronkowski said, quote, "Broncos give a lot of low blows," end quote. And I think he's talking about more than one thing. So obviously this is going to be a bittery matchup, and I'm going to take, just because I don't know. Right now I just hate the AFC so much. I don't know why it's always got to be the Patriots and the stupid Broncos. I'm taking the Patriots to win this game. Patriots are a 3-point favorite, but I mean, it's the Patriots. They got Gronk. He's a monster. And while the defense has some concerns, Broncos just put up a bunch of field goals. Patriots are going to end up scoring more touchdowns than field goals. And ultimately, in this game of football that we all know and love, you have to score more points than the opposition. I think the Patriots are going to do just that. So the Patriots get the pick and end up going to the stupid Super Bowl again. Ugh. Then we have the most exciting matchup, the one we actually care about, and the one that we're going to be disappointed whoever loses, because we want them to go to Super Bowl just as much. This NFC Championship game, I wish somehow was the actual Super Bowl, because I would love it. Is the Arizona Cardinals with Larry Fitzgerald trying to get his first ring and wanting to make, finish it up. And I think honestly, if the Cardinals were to win the Super Bowl this year, I think Larry hangs it up. I think he's really done. I haven't seen anything about it, but I mean, why not? He's done everything. Why risk injury? You finally got that Super Bowl. You did everything for the Cardinals that any player could ever ask for, or any team could ever ask for. Why not just end it there? Now the Cardinals, they're 7-1 on the road. So that's a little experience, but the Panthers are also 8-0 at home. Carolina is a 3-point favorite. This game is at 5:40 p.m. Central Time on Fox. The weather is supposed to be 43 degrees, but right now the entire stadium is filled with snow. The field, the stands, the press box, everything is filled with snow. So whether it's a snowy game when it happens or it's just going to be freaking cold, best of luck. I mean, we all know it's going to be cold. But this is going to be the best game. I truly think this is going to be the best game of the playoffs. Now, we had some good ones in the wild card and divisional rounds, but man, this one, obviously with the Super Bowl on the line here, this is it. It's a tough game. I really don't want to make a pick because I want the Cardinals to go for Larry and Carson Palmer. But Cam Newton, him going, that would be great for the Panthers. I like the Panthers. Their defense is obviously top-notch as they shut down, at least first half-wise, or shut down defense. Second half, not so much. But the Cardinals, I feel like, honestly, they have the experience in the big games. And Cam, I don't know. I feel like he's going to be overly confident where it backfires on him. And I think it makes a couple mistakes against this Cardinals defense. I'm picking the Cardinals. I don't want to. I want the Panthers to win, but I want the I don't want to make a freaking pick on this game. I think the Cardinals win it. I know the defense is there just as much as the Panthers. And they're going to be out there. I think it's a low-scoring game. Honestly, like a 13-17 type of victory. But I think Cardinals, Carson Palmer, Larry, they're going to motivate everybody. They're the veterans guys. They want this. It's the first ever conference championship matchup that we have against former Heisman winners. Now, at least college football and Heisman winners are finally doing something with Carson Palmer and Cam Newton. But I know Panther fans are going to attack me. Oh, blah, 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 blah. We're going to dab on you. I don't care. Either way, I hope the NFC champion just wins it all. I don't want the Broncos to win it. I definitely don't want the Patriots to win it. I want the Cardinals or the Panthers to win. So I'm thinking the Cardinals would have the experience, the upper hand in a big game in the NFC Championship and a Super Bowl over, going against the Patriots or a Broncos team, rather than having a young, inexperienced team in the Panthers and them losing in the Super Bowl. So basically what I'm saying is the winner of this game in the NFC Championship, I just hope it's honestly the better team. I know it sounds stupid because obviously the better team wins, but I hope they are the team that just wins it all. That's all. I'm repeating myself. So that's it for the show. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like it, share it with your friends and family. Thank you so much for the support, guys, as I just spit everywhere. That was gross. But honestly, thank you guys so much for the support. We have interviews with a few high school recruits, top of the nation, and also JC Sherbert on next Friday's show. So stay tuned. I have more information on Monday's show. And again, the Short Sports Show will be on Wednesday starting February 3rd. But thank you guys so much. We will be back Monday morning right here, wherever you're listening to, whether it's iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker.com, YouTube, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, whatever it might be. Thank you so much for the support. I love you guys, and I will see you next Monday. As always, God first, God bless. I'm out. Peace.
Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever. Forever. I'ma do this here forever.
I didn't came way too far for me to stop it now. I done worked way too hard just to drop it now.